That was one bigger challenge, the communication. My biggest learning is saying it once is almost not saying it at all. And I always think back to actually at university when people or like professors said to me, yeah, human behavior, you need to say it 7 times if you want that they change. And I actually have often the feeling it's the same in a company when you have those big meetings and then like you update them, and actually when you only say it once, you don't do your job right. And I think also what I learned in the last months, how important those personal check-ins are. And obviously normally I would check in quickly with a coffee, or like going to a desk and saying, oh, how are you? Or somebody brings the dog into the office and you go down to the dog and you start chatting to this person. And obviously you need to find a way, I guess, in those times to do exactly the same thing, but virtual. What was a challenge, and it is maybe sometimes a bit more work, but it's definitely worth it, I would say. What I learned from this situation is that I feel less social pressure, because sometimes it can be also quite overwhelming, like being like, it's never nice to be the person who says no to a pint. So you often maybe force yourself into the next pub, what can be also bad for your mental well-being. But in general, what I do and what I relearned to do is actually to listen way more to myself, and maybe even care a bit more about myself. So there are 2 sides of it. One side is to actually listen to myself, and the other side is to actually do something and to change something if I heard that it's not good for me. So for example, if I think about I'm in love with running. Everybody knows it who knows me. And I listen often to myself and think, oh yeah, I would need a run. And then I look into my calendar and I think, yeah, but today is not a good day. Then I think, no, actually you can change this. You just might end up with like working between 6 and 7, but we had a good run between 3 and 4, because then obviously in the winter months it's still bright. So I think it is this like being strict to yourself as well, and not just saying, oh, I can't do this because of. No, you can change those things. My first advice is to be patient, but again, like, I guess doing something, like trying to change something means you have to be a leader on changing something. You have to be a good example. What also means you have to listen to other people, and you have to stay open. Don't think you know better. Even with like 20 years of experience, don't assume you know best, because like you say, every company is different. Every human being is different. So I guess listening and leadership was actually one of our value pair at Lightful, and my favorite, actually, I would almost say. And yeah, keeping your mind open for ideas and for trying out, and then also being open for failure, fail and learn and doing it again. Yes, stay human as well, especially as an HR person. Don't try to be this gray person who thinks, I know everything better, I studied this. No, in the end of the day, culture is what people make out of it, and what your company and your team makes out of it, not what you think is the best thing to do.